afternoon, everyone. And yesterday we have discussed about the complete description of an angiospermic plant. And today, now let us see about a new concept or new topic called photosynthesis. Here it is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. And here and why we should discuss about the photosynthesis means the majority of the living organisms depend upon plants. Majority of living organisms are almost all living organisms depend upon plants for their food material. And we all depend upon plants for the food material. And then how the plants are getting their food material? Okay, they are getting food material from plants. The animals getting food material from plants. Then how these plants are getting, where these plants are dependent to get food material. So the plants can prepare their own food material. The plants can prepare their own food material by a process or by a biochemical process that is called photosynthesis. It's called photosynthesis. And here before going to photosynthesis, we are discussing the plants are able to prepare their own food material, and so the plants are also called autotrophs. They are also called autotrophs. Let us see what are autotrophs. Autotrophs. The green are the plants which can prepare their own food material depending upon the sunlight and the carbon dioxide. The organisms which can prepare their own food material are called the organisms which can prepare their own food material are called autotrophs. Autotrophs are the plants are the green plants. The green plants which can prepare their own food material are called autotrophs, and all other organisms which depend upon these autotrophs, hence the other organisms which depend upon these autotrophs are called heterotrophs. What are they? They are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. All other organisms which depend upon autotrophs are plants. All other organisms which depend upon plants for their food material are called heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. And these are the things we should know before going to discuss about this photosynthesis. Autotrophic organisms are autotrophic plants, which means they can prepare their own food material, whereas heterotrophic organisms means which depends upon autotrophs or green plants for their food material. Hence, they are called as heterotrophic organisms, and these are called autotrophic organisms. Here, all the green plants are called autotrophic organisms, and these green plants, I said that these green plants are autotrophic, means they can prepare their own food material. And how they can prepare their own food material? They are autotrophs, okay. They can prepare their own food material, okay. But how they can prepare their own food material? And the autotrophic plants can prepare their own food material by a noble process that is called photosynthesis. A noble process called photosynthesis. By the process of this photosynthesis only, they can make their food material or carbohydrates or starch, and they can make. Now let us see the definition of this photosynthesis, or what is the photosynthesis. Let's see what is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. It is a photosynthesis is the photochemical process. It is the photochemical process. Chemical process in which green parts of the plants can synthesize carbohydrates by utilizing carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight. And this is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means this is looking much bigger definition, but I can shortly remember here. Photosynthesis is a photochemical process in which plants can prepare their own food material by using carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight. That is called photosynthesis. Plants prepare their own food material by using carbon dioxide and water to prepare a carbohydrate or the food material, and it is called as photosynthesis. Let us see the overall reaction of the photosynthesis. Here 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6H2O, and the liberation of 6 molecules of oxygen. 6 molecules of oxygen and 6 molecules of water are released by the utilization of 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 12 molecules of water, and these two are combined to form one molecule of glucose or one glucose molecule. C6H12O6 is a glucose molecule, and liberation of 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of oxygen are released into the atmosphere. Here it is in the presence of sunlight. The presence of sunlight made by chlorophyll. Made by the photosynthesis process is done by chloroplast or chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, and this is the overall reaction of the photosynthesis. Okay, this is the overall reaction of photosynthesis. And here we all know photosynthesis is an important process. Why? Because plants have to prepare their food material, and other heterotrophs also have to depend upon the plants. And, there are two main reasons why this photosynthesis is important or so important. What is the importance of photosynthesis? There are two basic reasons why this photosynthesis is very, very important. Why it is important? The basic reasons why photosynthesis is important. Why photosynthesis is important. The basic reasons for the photosynthesis are why this photosynthesis is important. First one, photosynthesis is the source of all the food that is present on the earth. Now, photosynthesis is the main source for all the food that is present or which is present on the earth. What are the food material? Whatever the food which is present on the earth surface is because of this photosynthesis only. Because of this photosynthesis only, the total amount of food which is present on the earth is because of photosynthesis only. And second most important reason why this photosynthesis is important. Photosynthesis is a process to release oxygen into the atmosphere. And why this photosynthesis is a process by which photosynthesis is a process by which the release of oxygen, the release of by which the release of oxygen into atmosphere occurs. The photosynthesis is a process by which release of oxygen into the atmosphere occurs. It's because of these two reasons. Here, all the living organisms are able to live because of taking some oxygen, taking some food. And all the food is coming from plants, and all the oxygen is coming from plants. And how all the energy and all the food and all the oxygen is coming from plants means because of this photosynthesis only. Because of photosynthesis, plants are able to give all the food material on the earth, and plants are also able to give oxygen onto the earth. And because of these two reasons, this photosynthesis is most important, or this photosynthesis is so important for each and every living being. And these are the two reasons why this photosynthesis is important. Okay. And in this photosynthesis, we said that by the utilization of carbon dioxide and by utilization of water in the presence of sunlight, photosynthesis process occurs, and the liberation of oxygen occurs, and the formation of carbohydrate molecules occurs in the photosynthesis process. And okay, and regarding this photosynthesis, we have to remember one scientist named as Joseph Priestley. The scientist named as Joseph Priestley. Joseph Priestley, who discovered oxygen in the year 1774. The scientist named as Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen in the year 1774. And one more scientist named as Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen. I'll ask you the question afterwards, who discovered the oxygen? Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen. Next, one more scientist who told that sunlight is essential for the photosynthesis process. Here I told you carbon dioxide, water are important for photosynthesis. Along with this carbon dioxide and water, the light is also important for the photosynthesis process. Light is also important. And who told or who showed the light is important? The scientist named as John Ingenhousz. John Ingenhousz. John Ingenhousz showed that or proved. John Ingenhousz showed or proved light is essential for photosynthesis. Light is essential for photosynthesis, which was shown by a scientist named as John Ingenhousz. John Ingenhousz. And here, for the process of photosynthesis, what are required for the process of photosynthesis? Let us see what are the things that are required for the process of photosynthesis. Now, here why it is important means because all the food is because of photosynthesis only, and also all the oxygen present on the earth is because of photosynthesis only. And later on, the scientist Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen, and how he discovered means he showed that oxygen is liberated by the photosynthesis process. And later on, John Ingenhousz showed that light is most important for the photosynthesis process. Light is required for the photosynthesis process. If light is not there, and there is no photosynthesis process, there is no preparation of carbohydrates in the plants, hence there is no food on the earth surface. And next, what are the things we all know? Let us make a list of the things that are required for the photosynthesis process. What are required for the photosynthesis? Number 1, carbon dioxide. Number 2, water. And number 3, light. Number 4, chloroplast in the plants or chlorophyll. And these are the 4 things which are most important for the process of photosynthesis. Now let us see carbon dioxide, okay, water, okay, and light is also okay. And most probably the process of photosynthesis is done in 2 wavelengths of light, or the range of light which is required for the photosynthesis is almost 480 nanometers and 700 nanometers of blue light. Red light and blue light is required for the photosynthesis process. We'll discuss about the range of lights which are required for the photosynthesis process. Blue light of wavelength 480 nanometers, red light of wavelength 700 nanometers. 480 nanometers and So 680 nanometers and 700 nanometers light is required for the process of photosynthesis. We'll discuss briefly in the lesson called photosynthesis in our syllabus. Now let us see about this chlorophyll and how the photosynthesis occurs in the chlorophyll. Very, very important. Chlorophyll in your annual examination, it may be asked under 3-mark question. Draw a neat labeled diagram of chlorophyll or chloroplast. Let us say chloroplast. Structure of chloroplast. Chloroplast. As you know, while we are discussing about the different cell organelles, chloroplast is the kitchen of plant cell. I told you it is the kitchen of plant cell. Do you remember or not? Kitchen of plant cell. Go back to your notebook and if you see which is the kitchen of plant cell means chloroplast is the kitchen of plant cell. Kitchen means, what is the general meaning of kitchen? In the kitchen we used to cook the food. Means the food is coming from the kitchen in our home. But here in the plants also, here in the kitchen only food material is preparing. Means in chloroplast only food material is cooked or food material is developed in the chloroplast only. Now let us see a rough diagram of chloroplast. And this is the outer membrane. And the next one, this is the inner membrane. And this is called the bundle of cells. This is the bundle, just like one coin, 1 rupee coins are put on one another. That is just like this structure. For example, this is a 1 rupee coin, and one more 1 rupee coin is put on this one. If you keep one more 1 rupee coin, or if you keep one more one, and by making this structure by granum, or this single one, if you take this single one outside, it looks like this, and this is called granum. And the number of granum is present on one another and this total structure, this one or this one or this one or this one or this one, anyone, this total structure is called as a grana. It's called a grana, and the connecting link between two grana, and this connecting link between two grana, and this is called stroma lamellae. This is called stroma lamellae. Stroma lamella. Stroma lamellae plural. This is one stroma lamella. This is another stroma lamella. This is another stroma lamella. This is another stroma lamella. And this is a grana. This is grana. This is grana. This is grana. This is grana. These are all grana. Or plurally, one, if you take one kind, that is called granum, and totally it is called as grana. Grana, grana. The number of grana are present in the chloroplasts. And next, the liquid tissue or the liquid which is present inside the chloroplast, inside the two membranes of the chloroplast, and this space or this liquid is called as stroma. This is called stroma. And inside this chloroplast, what we said, the food material is prepared. And what is the food material? For example, if you take like this, and this is called starch granule. Starch granule. Starch granule. And inside this, lipid granules are also present. And this is a lipid granule. Lipid granule. And this is the structure of chloroplast or diagrammatic view. Diagrammatic view of chloroplast. In the annual exam, it is very, very important 3-mark questions. Now, the diagrammatic view of a chloroplast, and here the chloroplast is having what is the structure of this chloroplast? Here, chloroplast is having outer membrane and outer membrane, inner membrane, and the liquid tissue which is present in the chloroplast total called as stroma, and this is stroma, and this is a space or total called stroma. Inside the stroma, and these are all present, grana and the liquid granules, starch granules, and all are present inside the stroma. And inside the stroma, most probably what are present means grana are present, or they are also called as grana thylakoids. Grana or grana thylakoids, and coids means coins like structures. Grana thylakoids are present, and and between two grana, a connecting link is present, that is called stroma lamella, and plural stroma lamellae. And this is one lamella, another one, and all called stroma lamella. And after the preparation of food material, the carbohydrates are prepared inside this one, and those carbohydrates are again developed into starch granules. Starch granule and liquid granules are also present. Small dots are called lipid granules, and this is the structure of a chloroplast. And here, how the photosynthesis process occurs in this chloroplast means here, and this membrane system, outer membrane and inner membrane, this membrane system is responsible for the trapping of solar energy, which traps the solar energy, which takes the solar energy from the sun. While this is the sunlight, let us see. This is chloroplast, and this is the sun, and this sunlight is taken by the membrane system only. Membrane system traps the solar energy. Trap means take, and the membrane system, this membrane system traps the sunlight or solar energy, and this membrane system is also responsible for the energy-rich molecule, development of energy-rich molecules. What are the energy rich molecule means ATP and NADH molecules. And inside the membrane or inside the inner membrane, outer membrane, the stroma is present, and inside the stroma all these are present. That is responsible for the development of starch granule or development of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates in turn developed into starch granules. Here membrane system responsible for trapping of solar energy is responsible for trapping of solar energy. Trapping means nothing, taking the solar energy. It takes the solar energy. Trapping of solar energy. Trapping of light energy. And also preparation of ATP and NADPH. And preparation of ATP and NADPH. Adenosine triphosphate and noradrenaline triphosphate molecules are developed by this membrane system. And afterwards, photosynthesis process occurs inside the stroma, and development of inside the stroma, inside the membrane, trapping of solar energy and development of ATP and NADPH. And inside the stroma, what happens? Inside the stroma, granulocalates are present, and stroma lamellae are present, and so that they can prepare the food material or develop inside the stroma. Development of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates in turn they develop into starch molecule. Carbohydrates develop into starch molecule. They turn into starch molecule. And this is about the outline of photosynthesis. We are not discussing deeply about photosynthesis, but what is photosynthesis and which type of organisms can perform photosynthesis we have discussed. And again, how the photosynthesis process is how the photosynthesis process is done in green plants, and what are the things that are required for the photosynthesis process we are discussing today. And by today evening, I'll give you 2 assignments, and you have to make one notebook and write the assignments. 2 assignments. And tomorrow being Sunday, you have to do this work. And if you observe all my classes in YouTube channel, and I forgot to tell you, you have to write all the notes by observing all the classes, and from all the classes only I ask the questions in 2 assignments. By evening, I will send you the questions of 2 assignments. Assignment 1 and assignment 2 questions I will send you by today evening, and by tomorrow you have to write, and on Monday you can show me, or otherwise after coming onto the you should show me the assignment by writing in a book, and you have to send the picture of your notebook to my WhatsApp number. So that's it for today, and we'll meet in next class.